copied at the job.
Nah, my job, no. Get the copy from Staples, paper.
Oh, I thought you said at the job.
Nah.
Oh.
I can get the paper already, copy, and then I can just put it in the thing and leave.
Oh, I could do that, yeah.
I'm gonna try to do double salad. See if we can.
سؤالك يا أخي. طيب بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تمسك بسنته بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. After praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sending the salutations upon the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam, and upon his family and his companions, and upon all those who follow upon his guidance into the establishment of the last day, to proceed, ya ikhwan. فاللهم إنا نعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع ومن قلب لا يخشع ومن نفس لا تشبع ومن دعاء لا يسمع. Verily, Allah, we seek refuge with you from knowledge that has no benefit, and from a heart that has no fear, and from a soul that has no satisfaction nor contentment, and from a dua that goes unanswered, ويقول الإمام الجبل أبو عبد الله أحمد بن محمد بن حنبل رحمه الله تعالى في كتابه أصول السنة. So the great Imam, one of the mountains of Al-Islam, Abu Abdullah Ahmad ibn Muhammad ibn Hanbal, may Allah have mercy upon him, he mentions in his book the principles of the Sunnah. قال أصول السنة عندنا التمسك بما كان عليه أصحاب رسول الله عليه الصلاة والسلام. So he says the principles with us, the principles of the Sunnah rather with us, is holding fast to what the companions of Muhammad or the companions of the Messenger of Allah alayhi salam were upon. وَالْإِقْتِدَاءُ بِهِمْ, and taking them as examples, as molds and models to be followed. وَتَرَكُ الْبِدْعِ, and leaving off, staying away from, avoiding innovation. وَكُلُّ بِدْعَةٍ فَهِيَ ضَلَالَةٌ, and every innovation, it is a misguidance. Every innovation, it is a misguidance. قال الإمام الراجحي حفظه الله تعالى. So the Imam, the noble Shaykh Abdul Aziz al-Rajihi, he continues his commentary. قال وذلك ليشمل العميان, and he says, طيب نعيد قليلا, we'll go back slightly. He says, فالصحابي هو من لقي النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام. So he says a companion. What is a companion? He said a companion is anyone who met the Prophet of Allah, mu'minan, and believed in him. وَلَوْ لَحْظَةً, even if he only saw him or met him rather a small moment. وَمَاتَ عَلى الْإِسْلام, and then he died upon Islam. ثلاثة أشياء, three things. Anyone who met the Prophet of Allah, mu'minan bih, believed in him, وَمَاتَ عَلى الْإِسْلام, and died as a Muslim. قال هذا أصح ما قيل في تعريف الصحابي. He says this is the best, this is the most authentic definition from the definitions of a companion. وهذا أولى من قول من رأى النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام. He says, and this is better than those that say anyone who saw the Messenger of Allah. وذلك ليشمل العميان, and he says this is because this definition, anyone who met him, includes those who are blind. But if you were to say anyone who saw him, then what about those who are blind? قال كعبد الله ibn Maktoum. He says, like the noble companion Abdullah ibn Maktoum رضي الله عنه. فإنه لقي النبي, for verily he met the Prophet of Allah. ولكنه لم يراه, but he never saw him. لأنه أعمى, because he was blind. فهو صحابي, but in still he is a companion. التعبير بلقي أولى من تعبير برأى. So the phrase anyone who met is better than to say anyone who saw. قال ويشمل ذلك الصغار الصحابة. He says, and the word companion, the definition that we mentioned, includes anyone who was a child. It's general. It's not about age. Anyone who met the Prophet of Allah, believed in him, alayhi salam, and died as a Muslim. ولو كان صغيرا. Even if he was young. Even if he was young. قال وهذا ويشمل ذلك الصغار الصحابة. And this includes the youth from the companions. وطفالهم, and even their young ones, even their children. الذين حنكهم النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام فهم صحابة. Then the Sheikh brings a tremendous point. He says, even those small children that the Prophet took the dates, bit upon the dates, chewed the dates, and took the date that was chewed up and put it in the mouth of the child. This is called tahniq. Tahniq. When you take a date, chew it up slightly, make it soft, take what you chewed up and put it in the mouth of the child. Rub it on his gums and the likes. Huh? When they're a child, when they're in infancy. I know. No teeth. You rub it on their gums. All around there. قال بعض العلماء أن هذا خاصا للنبي. Some scholars say this action is only for the Prophet. قال بعض العلماء لا هذا العام. Some scholars say no, it's general.
Because I used to do it with my kids.
Eh?
I used to soften the food up and give it to them.
I know. That's for some scholars say it's for the prophets only. Because the companions would bring their newborns to the Prophet. But is it only for the Prophet? The scholars differ. Some say yes, some say no. It appears that it is not something that's specific for the Prophet. لأن أين الدليل? Because where's the proof? إذا نقول أن شيئا من خصاصي أو من خصاصي النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام أو خصائص النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام نحتاج إلى دليل. نحتاج إلى دليل. For indeed, if we were to say that something is only for the Prophet, there are some things that are only for the Prophet, yes. But you have a adillah to support it. So if you say something is specific, you can't do that, you can't say that, that's only for the Prophet, نحتاج إلى دليل. Then we are in need of proofs. We are in need of proofs. فالثاني, the strongest opinion, wallahu alam, appears to be the second. That is not only for the Prophet, because there's no proof to say that is specific for the Prophet. No. Wallahu ta'ala alam, and Allah the Most High knows best. فالإسلام يا إخوان يبنى على الدليل ليس على الآراء. Memorize this point. We say this every lesson. Every day, mashallah ta'ala. Islam is built upon proofs, not upon opinions. Islam is built upon proofs. قال الإمام الراجحي حفظه الله. So the Imam al-Rajihi continues. قال ولكنهم يتفاوتون. Then he brings another tremendous benefit. Benefit after benefit after benefit. Allahu Akbar. He says, however, the companions, all of them are the companions. Anyone who met the Prophet of Allah, believed in him, died as a Muslim. He says, however, the companions, they're different in their virtue. They're different in their virtue. قال كما سيبين المؤلف رحمه الله تعالى. He says, and this is going to be made more clear from the author. May Allah have mercy upon him. من المؤلف, who's the author, Abdullah?
We're doing the Usool Sunnah today, right? Nah?
Inshallah. Abdullah traveled for a little bit.
I was like, my nose is all
لا بأس.
Abdus. Is it Abdus?
Who's the author? لا بأس. How about Jihad? Who's the author of the book?
Ahmad.
Ibn ما شاء الله إمام أحمد ابن حنبل. تعطيكم يا إخوان أحسن طريق من طرق الكتابة. So we're going to give you the best way to take notes. The best way to take notes. Inshallah. Since Abdullah traveled on us for a little while. He was on a boardwalk. طيب. أول شيء يا إخوان أول شيء أو أول شيء وهو أسهل شيء ولكن أغلى شيء. The easiest way, simplest way, but it's the most expensive way. at the same time. لكل درس نأخذ دفترا مستقلا. For every lesson, you have a notebook separate for that lesson. Have أسهل شيء. That's the easiest way. Arabic time, Arabic notebook. Hadith time, Hadith notebook. Tafsir time, Tafsir notebook. Easy. ولكن هو أغلى, but it's expensive. Who has the amount of money to buy a notebook for every lesson? That's going to be costly. We mentioned some of the scholars of the past were poor. From them was Ash-Shafi'i. MashaAllah. We waste this stuff, but the great scholars of the past used to preserve it. Likewise, Sheikh Albani, very poor. He used to take the trash, the paper in the street that we waste. He would collect it and write hadith on it. Allahu Akbar. At any rate, everyone doesn't have $5 a lesson, $4 a lesson. A nice notebook is $3 a lesson. Everybody doesn't have that. طيب. It's the easiest, most expensive. طيب, now خذ دفترا ضخما لا بأس بحجمه واحدا. So the second way, take one nice size notebook, nice thick size notebook that has sections, or you section them off. It comes with sections, those dividers, or you divide them. Alhamdulillah. Staples have them. Also, Ross has some nice notebooks. MashaAllah. Some nice notebooks. طيب. عندنا مثلا دفترا واحدا. Now we have one notebook. على الغلاف اكتب كل شيء سيكون فيه. On the cover of the book, write down everything that you're going to put in the book. Every subject that you're going to have in the book. For example, we have a different class every day here. That's a lot. And I debated about that, ya ikhwan. Some scholars teach like that. Other scholars contradict that. The sheikh of all of the scholars that I had the honor to sit with, their sheikh was Sheikh Muqbil. I never met Sheikh Muqbil. A brother on the line asked me, did I study with Sheikh Muqbil? Because I mentioned him a lot. At any rate, I never met the sheikh. When I went to travel to Yemen, he passed away. Rahimahullah. So all the scholars that I sat with were his students. In Yemen, every scholar that I met was a student of Sheikh Muqbil. Every scholar I learned from was a student of Sheikh Muqbil. طيب. At any rate, and they may have other scholars, but that was one of their teachers. طيب. At any rate, Sheikh Muqbil had the methodology that we have. That's where we got it from. That, you do a different science. He actually did more. He did a class after every salah, every day. MashaAllah. It's like a university studying with that man. Rahimahullah. So we did one class. He did a class after every salah. After Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib. Every salah, there was a lesson. MashaAllah. A different lesson. A different book. So that's difficult to do. This is why, like our Sheikh Abu Wais, Rahimahullah, used to say, anyone who studied in Yemen for 1 year is like studying in any university for 4 years. Because in 1 year, look at the opportunity you have to learn. A different book after every salah, every day. So in 1 year, you study the curriculum that they may study in this school or this school and this school, but you didn't have to wait till your 3rd year to do it. So you have the opportunity to learn at a higher level, at a faster level.
So now in Yemen, is it like throughout Yemen, there's just sheikhs everywhere in the masjids?
Almost everywhere, in the masajid, in the deserts, in the parks.
Just everywhere. And every salat, there's some type of lesson somewhere going on.
Almost in every masjid, yeah. Some masajid, the scholar may have lessons at his particular time, but usually, if they study with Sheikh Muqbil, usually, they follow his method. After Fajr, it's going to be a class. After Dhuhr, for anyone who can come. Because the way we do it, everyone works usually first shift. But suppose everybody worked second shift, third shift, then we would have no class. So he does it like that also for the community, to appease everyone. The ones who work at second shift can come after Dhuhr. The ones that work first shift can come after Asr, after Maghrib. So if you can't make this class, then you can make this one. So it makes it more appeasable for everyone. At any rate, so the sheikh, after every salah, he did a different science. طيب. Other scholars, like his daughter, Abdullah, one of the greatest minds you're ever going to read about. But she's a woman. So you may not give her the praise that she deserves. She's just like her father. You read her books, you can't tell if Sheikh Muqbil wrote it or if she wrote it. Sheikh Muqbil died checking Ibn Kathir. Ibn Kathir was already checked. Sheikh Mub wanted to check it himself. So he checks the hadith and the athar. Not just the hadith. He checked the narrations of the companions also. And he died around Surah Tawbah. Rahimallah. His daughter comes and completes it. The same way her father was checking the book. Tremendous, mashallah. She has a different methodology. She teaches one book only. Every day. After every salah. The same book. Until she gets done. So she differs from her father. Her father teaches multiple books. It's hard to keep up. But if you can, you're going to have knowledge in every science. The way she teaches, you're only going to learn that book by book. So your knowledge is going to be more grounded, but it's going to take you longer to reach other sciences. She's doing Bulugh al-Maram, today Bulugh al-Maram, tomorrow Bulugh al-Maram, the next day Bulugh al-Maram, until you finish Bulugh al-Maram. And she's going to take another book like that. So she differs. At any rate, so we decided to do that way to the best of our ability. If it's too difficult, we'll change and tweak it, inshallah. We'll make it lighter for the brothers, inshallah, if it's too much. At any rate, so you take a notebook. So every class that you can come to, you look at your own schedule, whether it's in this masjid or any masjid, ikhwan, it's not a condition that you have to study here. It's not a condition. But you have to study the Quran and Sunnah with the understanding of the companions. You write down every lesson that you intend to come to. Hadith, Quran, Arabic. Alhamdulillah. Take the first half, a nice amount of pages, right on the front, Hadith. Make your own dividers, then you're going to put Quran. Third part, Arabic. So you got 3 notebooks in one. 3 notebooks in one. If you add something else to that book, put it on the front of your cover. So now, when you go through your notebooks, you can say, now what do I'm looking for my Arabic? Where's my Arabic for Hadith, my Arabic notebook? Got it. Bismillah. Makes it easy. So now you won't have your notes everywhere. Because one of the benefits of taking notes here, ikhwan, is ar-ruju' ilayha, that you can go back to them. And memorize from your notes. Correct your notes. Study your notes. Teach from your notes. So you always want to go back to your notes and check it, alhamdulillah. But if you can't understand your notes, you're almost like the one who didn't write. You go back to him, you don't know what you wrote. So no benefit. So you want to section them out. And you can have your scrap notes, that's fine. And then you go back and make it neat. That's fine. طيب. So who's the author, ya ikhwan? Al-Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. قال فالذي طالت صحبته أفضل ممن لم تطل صحبته. So he says the companions that spend more time with the Prophet are more virtuous than the ones who spend less time. The companions that spend more time with the Prophet, not talking about knowledge, talking about virtue. Talking about virtue. The companions that spend more time with the Prophet, alayhi salatu wasalam, were more virtuous than the companions that spent less time with him. قال والأعراب الذين رأوا النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام وآمنوا به ليسوا كالصحابة الذين لازموا النبي سنينا. So the Bedouins who saw the Messenger of Allah and believed in him, they weren't like the companions who accompanied him for years. They barely were with him. They saw him. They believed in him. They followed him. They believed in him. But they're not like in virtue those who were always with him. The Prophet left, they left. The Prophet stood up, they stood up. Like Salam Shaykh. The Prophet traveled, they traveled. The Prophet gave a reminder, they listened. The Bedouin wasn't like that. He saw the Prophet when he could see the Prophet. He came to the Prophet whenever he can come to the Prophet. Like the masjid. Those who come more often, usually, his merit usually is better than the one who comes on the Eid only. The one who comes to the masjid in Ramadan only. The more you come usually, the more your heart is attached to the masjid. That's why we say, those that the backs of the community are really on, aren't the ones who come for the Eid only, Ramadan only, Jumu'ah only. La. They're the ones that come more regularly. The ones that come for the Salah, for the Durus, for the Jumu'ah, for Ramadan, not just you come time once a year. And nowadays in our communities, the ones that come the least have the most to say. We're the opposite. الذي يأتي نادرا صوت أعلى. The one who seldomly comes. He rarely comes. He's usually what? The one that has the loudest voice. Well, I think we should do this. What's your name? For example. That's usually how it is in our communities. Wallahu alam. قال الإمام حفظه الله. So the Imam continues. فَكُلٌ لَهُ نَصِيبٌ. So he says each one of them, they have a virtue. They have a portion. وَكُلٌ لَهُ حِفْظُهُ مِنَ الصُّحْبَةِ. And each one of them, they have the right to be given the title of suhbah, companions. لكن يجمعهم وصف صحبة. He says, so all of them have this description that they were companions of the Messenger عليه الصلاة والسلام. ومزية الصحبة خاصة بالصحابة. So a companion, the word companion, sahabi, is only for those who are from the companions of the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام. قال لا يلحقهم من بعدهم من التابعين والأئمة. Those that came after the companions from the tabi'un and the great imams do not have the right to be called a companion. What's the definition of a companion? Sabando. Anyone who met.
Definition of Sahabi is anyone who met Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam,
Good.
is Muslim, followed Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
And what about his death?
None like the Sahabis.
And what about his death? Anyone who met the Prophet, believed in him,
Muslim.
and died as a
Yeah,
Muslim.
died a Muslim.
ثلاثة أشياء. Three things, يا إخوان. احفظوها. Try to memorize that. Anyone who met the Prophet, believed in him, died as a Muslim. قال فصحبة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وسماع كلامه والجهاد معه هذه مزية خاصة للصحابة. So he says, the companions of the Prophet of Allah, hearing his speech, fighting and defending al-Islam from those who are trying to eliminate the religion of al-Islam alongside of him or with him. This is something that is specific. This is a characteristic. This is a level, a description that is distinguished for the companions. لا يلحقهم من بعدهم. Anyone that came after them does not have this merit. وقد يفوق بعض تابعين الصحابة مثلا في العبادة لكن لا يصل إلى درجة الصحبة. Then he brings another tremendous point. He said perhaps a tabi'i. Who was a tabi'i? اكتبوا هذا التعريف. Write this definition down يا إخوان. عندنا الآن الصحابة. So we have learned the definition of a companion. اكتبوا تعريف التابعي. First definition of tonight. Definition